Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. I hope you're doing well. Those of you who are coming to the National Science Teaching Association conference this week in Denver, I cannot wait to see you in just a couple days once we all descend upon Colorado. Hopefully there's not too much snow and all of our travel goes well. All of you who are rocking it in the classroom, thank you for everything that you do every day in the classroom. So deeply appreciate that as well. I wanted to jump in. We got a comment that came in at one of our recent events. And last week when I was in Ohio, shout outs to all the amazing schools that I got to be in last week. I had this great conversation with kindergarten through 8th grade teachers about how they were leveraging data sort of around us that our kids are used to helping their students come through. So first, the awesome teacher shout out that had come through earlier. So this teacher was sharing, have the students have a variety of ongoing data sets to plot at the end of the year. And I love this for two things. So one, we could totally jam out on adding two data sets and how that builds our students' skills and understanding that data are all around us and that any one set of data we're looking at is just a subsample. And so if we come back and we add to it each week, that helps just sort of ground us in that understanding of a sample. That's awesome. Maybe that's what we'll talk about next week on the live stream. But what I want to talk about today is the sort of data all around us and the components that this teacher sort of was giving as examples. It's temperature, mood, lunch, after school activity. These are all fantastic things that are easily all around us that we can start collecting some data on, that we probably anecdotally take note of and make observations about as we're going through. So that is an opportunity for our students to practice collecting data, practice thinking about, well, which data pieces would we want to collect and for what purpose, right? We don't collect data just to collect data. We collect data to ask questions and to investigate inquiries and things like that. It's also a great opportunity to bring these data and make real that authentic reality of why we work with data in our math classrooms, in our elementary classrooms, so that our data sets we're working with have a little more meat to them, a little more sort of kids are excited and engaged and it might be relevant to them. So air temperature is a great one. I love it. Mood. I walked into a classroom recently where they had the smiley faces. I feel like this showed up a lot during the pandemic, or maybe that was just a coincidence of timing, but different colored smiley faces in different sort of different moods, and that the students could point to kind of where they were at. It was this great way for the students to identify kind of what was going on inside, for the teacher to know what was going on inside in each of her students, and to be oh, okay, how are we doing today? As opposed to how are we doing yesterday? All sorts of things are happening and going on. And I just want to give a shout out. So this book, can you see it? Observe, Collect, Draw, is a fantastic resource. I don't get a kickback. Fantastic resource because they have all of these great suggestions of ways you can collect data in your real world. Now, those of you that have gone through programming with me, you know that I love them largely because I didn't cue this up. Largely because the visualization aspect when Stefanie and Giorgia are creating them are out of the box, right? So we're not looking at just straight lines of our bar charts or our line plots, but there are all these options. So number 28 in here is weather mood, right? So it's asking what is the weather and how are you feeling? I love it. So two of those examples that the teacher was throwing out in terms of temperature and mood combined into one. And what a fun way to look at, is there a correlation? Am I a happier person when it's raining? Am I a sadder person when it's really bright and sunny outside? Or am I a sadder person when it's snowy, right? We're all individuals. We all have our own reactions to the weather. So I loved that as one opportunity. Another is birthdays. And this is where I want to give a super major shout out to the Ohio school that I was in last week. So they're a K-8 school. We're working on this super cool, like across the curriculum, across kindergarten through 8th grade. How are we teaching data? How are we sequencing our data skills to set our students up for success and things like that? And they had just ran, I wish I had a picture of it. I'll try to get a picture and drop it in the comments. They had just finished the data collection school-wide. Well, it was school-wide, but they did it in 2 versions, and you'll hear for a second. So they did kindergarten through 4th grade, and then the 5th through 8th graders were working in the same, adding their data. And the kindergarten through 4th graders, it was what month is your birthday? And they gave students different colored stickers depending on their gender identity, and they put up their sticker to represent themselves as to what month their birthday was from. It resulted, we had some great conversations of like how eye-opening it was that some of our younger learners don't actually know what month they were born in, which just, we had that moment of like, oh, right, to be little and like your birthday is when when your birthday party happens and you just sort of show up. So there was that, that fun moment, but also a great kind of aha on what's going on inside of our learner's brain. And then the 5th through 8th graders were noting they also had different colored stickers based on their gender identity. Their different was what day of the month was their birthday. And then they were taking it back into each of their classrooms, kindergarten through 8th grade, and we're thinking about what are we going to do with these data? We've collected birthday data of our whole school. Now, what kinds of questions can we ask? What kinds of visualizations can we pull together? And it was really fun to see like where the students were starting to think, like what some of those generative brainstorming sessions had come up with in terms of what questions they had, how they wanted to visualize the data. We were talking about patterns last week, so it had a great opportunity to think about like what is age level appropriate discussion of patterns in data and how the teachers could use these data on birthdays of all of the students at the school to think about this. So Stefanie and Giorgia have some great examples of like, filling in this calendar. So they do birthdays in a different way, filling in the calendar of kind of who the person is and color coding it by like your affiliation or connection with the person as to like what day of the year is their birthday and all of those different things. We share birthdays, which was also, just like a total fun aside, is there are some fun birthday heat maps out there on the internet. And you can see like in the United States, how many people are born on which days of the year. And if there are more people that have that birthday, it is a darker color. And if there are fewer people who have that birthday, it is a lighter color. I, as a human who share my birthday with a major Christian holiday, December 25th, it is shocking how white the 24th and the 25th of December are. I definitely know some awesome shout out other Christmas Day babies out there, but it's just interesting. So I'll put the link to that in the comments as well. Goodness, so many things to link to. Okay, and because you might be hearing the piano lesson that is currently going on downstairs in my household with my 3rd grader, they also have a fun one about sounds and thinking about the sounds all around you. And are they natural? Are they mechanical? Are they other kinds of sounds? And both thinking about what I love about what Stefanie and Giorgia do in this book, Observe, Collect, Draw, is that it is an emphasis on the collecting our observations that we are making every day, but thinking about how can we collect those in a systematic or an organized way so that then we can use that information to ask questions and investigate patterns. And that is really where there's a lot of great opportunities with the data all around us to helping our students think about, engage with, play with the data, and build up those data skills. So hope you're having a good week. Hope there was sort of a nugget in here that resonated. If you're having your students use sort of data all around you, drop a comment, drop a note in the comments, share out so we can crowdsource some ideas and help everybody out. Until next week, I hope you all are having a wonderful day, and I'll